Welcome back to my channel for this week's Human Design Transit Report. And today is Monday, May 8th. And we are going to continue our journey through the knowing circuit. Now, if you want to find out what's happening like today and tomorrow, because we're going to change on Wednesday, May 10th, you can go watch last week's transit report. Because this week we're going to focus on the transit that starts on May 10th. Okay, let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, we got some interesting stuff going on in addition to what's happening with the sun and the earth. Let's go ahead and talk about what's happening with the sun and the earth first. And inside of that, we'll talk about Uranus. We're about to move into the 4323, which is this channel right here. It's going from the Ajna center into the throat, which is where the 23 is. So again, this is in the knowing circuit. The sun is lighting up the gate 23, which is known as the gate of assimilation or the gate of transmission in quantum human design. And guess what? Uranus has just moved into the 23 and it's going to be there until July 2024. So yeah, we're going to have Uranus lighting up the same gate for over a year, going forward and backward and forward and backward during this, whatever that is, 14-month, 15-month cycle. So the sun is lighting it up right now, and the 23 is really receiving the insights that have come in through the beginning of the knowing circuit, and that's why in traditional human design, it's sort of assimilation, like we're assimilating the information that's coming in. In quantum human design, it's kind of been shifted in the sense of transmission, because it's more about being able to transmit that the insights that are coming in through the 43 than it is just about assimilating them, which makes sense because the throat center is a center for expression, right? For activation, for manifestation. This particular channel, the 4323, is known as the place where these just really leading edge ideas come in. So the 43, which is what the earth is lighting up right now. So you're going to want to ground yourself in that 43 energy, which is known as insight. Okay. But it's also affectionately known as the genius freak gate. It is the gate where really kind of just countercultural, out of the box, leading edge ideas are coming in through that 43. And then they're going to want to be transmitted out through that 23. Now, the thing is, the reason it's called the Genius Freak Gate is not about the insights that are coming in. It's about how they're received by other people. So it's all about right timing, right? It's the right time with the right people in the right situation. And when you do that, then what you are offering is going to be considered genius. And if you don't do it at the right time with the right people in the right situation, it can be considered pretty freaky. Like, what? No, that's just too out there, you know? So when you're having these insights that are coming in during this transit, you're going to want to be really tuning in to, wow, do I want to share this with other people? You know, is this the right thing to do? And as I said in last week's transit report, during this whole month of May, we have the different parts of the knowing circuit that are lit up. So I highly encourage you to be journaling, even if it's not something you usually do, just to be capturing those insights that may be coming in and then tuning in. Do you want to transmit them out, right? Do you want to just share them with people who are, close beloveds with you, or people who you have a community of purpose with, where they would be the ones who would be like, wow, I can really take in what you're saying. And not share it, like don't necessarily put it on your social media. Because you know how people can be on social media, and the last thing that you need is people who are like, attacking your ideas because they're too out there for them. So I would say just hold it close for now, right? Hold them close for now and just really feel into, use your authority, whatever your type is, use your authority to tune in. Is this something to be shared, or is it really just something for me? Because sometimes you'll be receiving insights that are really just for you, because after all, this is individual circuitry, right? So it could be more about you and your life. It could be about something that's happening in your work or your relationships or your relationship to your body or your relationship to your belief system, your relationship to earth. It could just be something that's insightful that comes in that's just for you. Or it could be something that is for you, but at some point, at the right time, is something that would be good to share with others. Now, so if we're grounding ourselves in the insights, we're willing to receive the insights that are coming in through that 43, right? And then the trick is going to be, am I going to transmit them out? And if so, when? Now, the sun is bringing this in right now, right? But then Uranus is also bringing it, and Uranus is going to be there for over a year. So Uranus is going to constantly be kind of going, okay, what's coming in there? What do you want to start talking about? What do you want to bring out? What are you going to say that is revolutionary or evolutionary? That's going to bring about significant change. And again, this could be change inside of you. It could be change in your community. It could be change in our world. I mean, it's definitely individual circuitry, but still, Uranus is one of those energies in the outer planets that is a very kind of generational influence. Okay. And then the other thing is Uranus is also like an awakener, is also, something that is bringing forth our ability to have a much bigger perspective that is more in alignment with the qualities of the flow of life, which of course are love, compassion, acceptance, right? Things like that. They're not hate and war and fighting. That's not the quality of the energy of the universe. It's highly creative. So during this time, while Uranus is lighting this up, it's kind of a trip to me that he's going to be there that long, is for us to be looking at, like, when are we speaking up with our really leading edge ideas? What are we doing with that? Because, here on planet Earth, we definitely need to be having new ideas that are shared, new possibilities, new perspectives that are going to shake us up and wake us up out of a lot of the things that have become normal to us, because they're just not working anymore, right? They're just not working anymore, for us to be relying on gas and oil the way that we have, for example. Like, we just have to wake up out of that and really say, okay, enough already. How are we going to create, regenerative energy, energy that is coming from the abundant resources that we have available to us, like sunlight and wind, just as a couple of examples, right? So those are some of the things that we're going to be looking for. So you want to look at that for you in your own life, and then also for how it's really affecting the collective, because Uranus is definitely doing that. The other big thing is that Saturn has moved out of the gate 55, where he's been for a long time, and he's moved into the gate 37. Now, the gate 37 is emotional energy. It's on the emotional solar plexus, and it's known as friendship in traditional human design, or peace in quantum human design. And it is half of the channel of the bargain, or the channel of administration in quantum human design. And it connects the emotional solar plexus to the will center, that particular channel. So the 37 is really about how do we have our emotional energy calibrated to peace inside ourselves, peace with one another, and that creates friendship, right? It creates a reciprocity between us and other people, and also with the more than human world, right? With our forests, with our oceans, with the ecosystems that we live in. Like, for me, I think about it even just with what's happening in my yard. I don't even have a big yard, but how do I have a really peaceful and friendly relationship to the more than human world? So Saturn is really asking us to take a look at that. And Saturn, remember, is the great teacher. And Saturn is a teacher of discipline. And so he really likes it when we're just kind of incrementally all the time taking small actions that accumulate, right, towards whatever it is he's looking at. Having us look at. So with friendliness, or with peace, it's like, how can we take peaceful actions? How can we have peace in our hearts? How can we have a peaceful attitude? How can we fuel our friendship with the human world and the more than human world while he's transiting this? Okay. Then he's going to move back into the gate 55 in July and retrograde back and forth in the gate 55 until moving back into the 37 in mid-March. So we have another one of these big retrograde cycles that the outer planets go through every year. And so right now we're moving into this 37 phase, and then we're going to be back into the 55. Now, it's worth just noting again that 55 is the gate of faith in quantum human design, and it's all about abundance. It's about our ability to know that we have what we need when we need to have it. So it's not about accumulation, which is kind of a Western culture concept, right? That we need to accumulate. Really, in the natural world, we don't really accumulate. What we do is that we have what we need when we need it, and we're kind of in the flow of what's happening in the natural world. And we've lost some touch with that. But the 55 is really kind of exhorting us to get more in connection with that. So Saturn has been asking us to do that for quite some time. I've talked about it in previous transit reports, and he will start asking us to do that again in July. But between now and then, we can think about, okay, so how can we be more friendly? How can we live more in peace? It's also, they're both emotional energies. The 55 is also emotional energy. So we're still lighting up our ability to have command in our emotional realm, not by suppressing it, not by controlling it, but by honoring it and knowing how to explore it and to play with it. So my invitation to you is to be looking at, wow, where does peace live in my life? How has it been challenging for me? How can I create more peace inside myself, regardless of what's going on outside of me? And how can I be more friendly with all of the living beings that are in my world? And just imagine for a moment if we were all really taking the invitation of the sun, the earth, Uranus, and Saturn right now, what would be happening in our world? Deeply transformative, and all of that can start with you. I hope you'll come and join me in the Becoming Sovereign Virtual Retreat Center. It's so funny. I have been talking to and doing readings for people who don't seem to know that this community exists. So there'll be a clickable link right down in the description. And right now it's free, and part of it will always be free. And I do live events in there that are based on different topics that people are interested in. And I will be creating a new kind of community deep dive into human design that'll start in the summer, in July. So you'll be hearing more about that later. But I just invite you to come in there. It's a vibrant community. We're getting more and more conversation going. It's a great place to connect if you like to geek out on human design, and if you want to connect with others and connect with me. And I personally would love to meet you there. All right. Many blessings. Much love.